Here we find out from Aubrey Starbuck that the USAID essentially functions as one of many money laundering machines for Democrats in D.C. That would include Sam Bankman-Fried's effective altruism, FTX, and all that. First, activists create an obscure NGO, that's a non-governmental organization. Dems fund it lavishly. The NGO does the bare minimum or actively hurts the United States. Activists get paid and donate to Dems. That's the money laundering machine, okay? Not only that, but USAID helped spread their gender ideology nonsense and brought millions of illegals into our country. And again, we paid for that. You as a taxpayer in the United States paid for the benefit privilege courtesy of having your own jobs be underbid and rental properties prices driven up by migrants, illegal migrants who these NGOs brought in. So Robbie writes, that's why Democrats are freaking out about the possibility the USAID being shut down by President Trump because, well, it needs to be done, of course, right? Now, carrying on with that Wall Street Journal article then, from the same article, we see this, okay? A totally appropriate quote by Elon Musk. Musk said earlier Monday, quote, that Trump agreed with him that USAID should be closed, telling a live audience on social media site X that he went over it with him in detail and he agreed we should shut it down. Musk said at the same time that the administration was closing the agency because, get this, quote, we dug into USAID, and as we did so, it became apparent that what we have here is not an apple with a worm in it, but we actually just have a ball of worms. Perfect. There is no apple, he says. When there is no apple, you just got to basically get rid of the whole thing. That's why it has to go. It is beyond repair. Yep. End quote. No apple, just a ball of worms. Right? In the real world, sometimes it's just a little bit faster and cheaper. You just got to start over sometimes. You don't try and make something that's beyond repair, better by pouring more resources into it. You just burn it down. You start over. Okay? That's how it is. So if I was a USAID staffer right now, if I was one of those 10,000 people there, I'd be spiffing up my CV, my resume, while thinking of Elon's first arrival at the Twitter building back when he bought it. Yeah, let that sink in. Okay, everybody? Now, do we really doubt that the man who wrestled Twitter back from being an overt tool of the deep state in all of its censorship arms, right, and ended up firing over 80% of its existing staff while keeping the whole thing running smoothly? Now, you think he's going to be any different when it comes to tearing apart USAID? Now, this is exactly what a majority of people voted for in 2024. Exactly. This moment, but taken elsewhere, and it's happening now, and that's incredible. But some people, like Elizabeth Warren, have not managed to get that memo yet. She writes here, quote, no one elected Elon Musk. As Donald Trump allows Musk to access people's personal information and shut down government funding, Republicans in Washington will also own the consequences. We must do everything in our power to push back and protect people from harm. End quote. Yeah, hyperbolic and all, and panicky and all that. So Liz Warren is probably just like a low layer of management in a larger deep state permanent apparatus. And she's been there a long time. She clearly turned to the dark side. She doesn't want our children to be healthy. She's against RFK Jr. getting the bottom of the autism and the obesity and the type 2 diabetes and the metabolic disorders. She doesn't want any of that. She doesn't want him to get to the bottom of poisons in our foods. She wants all that to continue, of course, because she benefits from it. And it's that gross. We are surrounded by people who have been so far off the reservation of common sense and decency for so long that to them, this feels like normal territory and behavior. But this really isn't. This just isn't. And by the way, Elizabeth Warren, we did elect Elon Musk. We saw it. We knew that he was part of the team. Trump promised he was going to do this. He laid out his plans. People voted for it. And now it's happening. And if you were really worried about people being harmed, I have some questions about that. We'll get to those in just a second. Now, but who else is worried about this? Chuck Schumer. He's not getting the memo. Trump's been purging and intimidating USAID employees. He says now there's a rumor he'll dissolve USAID as an independent agency. It was created by JFK and established in law to further our national security and spread hope. Does that include, what kind of hope talking about here, Chuck? You mean was it the child trafficking part? Or was it the color revolutions? Which part of hope is that you think it's spreading? This would be illegal, he says, and against our national interests. Now, whether or not it's against national interests would be a point of opinion, but that it's illegal is not. It was created by executive order. It can be uncreated by executive order, as far as I understand it. Chris Murphy out of Connecticut. This guy is just insanely got Trump derangement syndrome very badly. But, you know,